Hello, this is Alan Crane, and this is my Rust project, my first time ever using Rust. I installed it earlier this week and have been learning from scratch. So, very interesting. It's very similar to my experience with Erlang, where you've got multiprocessors and you have a implicit passing of or implicit return of data, and you have to use the shell to run everything because the text or the code editor will not let you compile it directly. So you can see I've got my main function. I have some mutable variables here, because if you do not use the keyword for mutable, by default variables in Rust are not mutable and they cannot be changed. Let's see, other features is that Rust has a feature of ownership. This variable has ownership of the data that was attached to it until it got passed into this function, in which case this function takes ownership of the string, and this username now has no value attached to it until this function finishes and returns it and reassigns it here. But if I had not reassigned it, then username would have had no value because we had passed ownership into this function earlier. Let's see, another interesting thing about Rust, you've got this loop and break. It's not a for loop, it's not a while loop, it's just a loop, and you tell it when to break. Another interesting thing about Rust is everything's implicitly casted unless you explicitly say what type it is. So here we have an integer. Oh wait, no, that's a bad example. Let's find a better example. Here's a good example. So here, I did not write in this Boolean that the text editor is just showing Boolean out to be helpful. So I just wrote let mute play again equals true, and it realized on its own that it's a Boolean and it implicitly casts it, which can cause a lot of problems, as I've discovered, if you do not know exactly which type your variables are, and if it turns into something you don't think it is, it's really hard to debug. Let's see, other interesting things. There is some data splicing down here on line 83, where I can take this reference to a string. You can then splice it based off of here for ranges 0 to the random int. And I did it 3 times, which I'm using to shuffle the name that the user will be putting into the program. In fact, let's just dive into the program. So I can start it by going to the terminal and saying cargo run, very similar to how I have to run Erlang. So I can say my name is Alan. You can see I've had it shuffle it 5 times, and we get a randomly shuffled name. We then are going to have it factorialize a number. So let's factorialize 20. As you can see, a very long number, which is why I had to have an unsigned 128-bit number as some of my variables earlier. I can say that yes, I want to go again. And let's factorialize a number we all know, 6. Factorializes as 720. And we do not want to go again. Let's see, here we've got the Fibonacci sequence. So I can make that go about 40. You can see it takes a little time to think. This is not written very efficiently, but it does get there in the end. And that's what I made in Rust this week. Thank you for watching.